The slap echoed through the narrow corridor like a crack of lightning, sharp enough to silence every voice around it. Though the sting spread across her cheek. Her eyes didn't flash with anger or fear, just a quiet, unsettling calm. The lieutenant, red-faced and trembling with frustration, seemed almost shocked by his own hand. He expected her to shout or crumble, but she simply stood there, steady as stone, her breath slow, her posture unshaken. And that alone unnerved him more than anything. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you rewatching from. I love knowing who's listening. He'd struck her because she wasn't moving fast enough, or so he claimed. In truth, he'd been looking for someone to lash out at after a morning of failures he couldn't fix. Mira happened to be the nearest, the quietest, the least likely, he thought, to fight back. But as the stunned silence thickened in the corridor, something shifted, not in her expression, but in the air around her, like the stillness before a landslide. None of the recruits knew who she was. She preferred it that way. Hidden beneath a standard uniform was a record that no one on this base could imagine. She wasn't here for status or ceremony. She was here for observation, training, assessment, and secrecy. But secrecy had a limit, and the lieutenant had just crossed it. Mira lowered her gaze for a moment, not in fear, but in contemplation. She wasn't angry. She wasn't even offended. She was disappointed. Deeply, heavily disappointed in a man trusted with authority he didn't deserve. Her heart pressed with the moral tension. Should she walk away and let him continue his cruelty? Or should she correct a dangerous pattern? Her cheeks still burned. Her choice was made. The murmurs began, soft, uncertain, fearful. Some recruits stepped back. Others leaned forward, wondering if she'd strike back, shout, or report him. The lieutenant straightened his shoulders, trying to regain dominance. "You heard me?" he snapped. "Get moving." But his voice wavered. Mira lifted her head, and for the first time he saw what the others had sensed moments earlier, the terrifying steadiness of someone who had experienced far worse than a frustrated officer's slap. "I'll move," Mira said quietly. "After you correct your mistake." He blinked. "What mistake?" She didn't raise her voice. She didn't need to.
"The one where you struck a superior?"
A ripple went through the hallway, whispers, gasps, heads snapping toward each other. The lieutenant froze, the color draining from his face. Superior? But he didn't finish. Heavy boots approached from the far end of the corridor, echoing like a slow drum beat. The crowd parted instinctively. A captain stepped forward. Not just any captain, but a Navy SEAL captain known for being precise, unshakable, and brutally protective of his team. And Mira was one of his own. He stopped in front of her, eyes scanning the red mark across her cheek. His jaw tightened. Without hesitation, he saluted, crisp, sharp, and loud enough that even those outside the corridor seemed to hear the meaning behind it. "Commander Brooks," he announced, voice commanding yet threaded with respect, "I apologize for arriving late." The recruits stiffened. The lieutenant's knees seemed to weaken. "Commander?" She outranked him and outranked nearly everyone in the building. Mira simply inclined her head to the captain, her expression still calm, but her eyes now carrying a cold edge that the lieutenant felt in his bones. "Lieutenant Hale," the captain said, without turning toward him, "did you strike my commander?" I didn't know," Hale stuttered. "That's not what I asked." Silence squeezed the hallway again. Yes, sir," Hale whispered. The recruits watched, hearts pounding, knowing something serious was about to happen. But Mira stepped forward, lifting a hand gently, as if to hold back a tide. "Captain," she said softly, "dismiss the formality." He nodded, stepping aside. She faced Hale. The man couldn't meet her eyes. "This isn't about punishment," she told him. "It's about discipline, respect, leadership. All the things you forgot in the last 30 seconds?" Hale swallowed hard, his face crumpling with shame. "You're not unredeemable," she continued, her tone warm but firm. "But you're dangerous when you lead from pride instead of duty. You can fix that, if you choose to." A breath moved through the recruits, a soft exhale of surprise, admiration, even relief. She could have destroyed him with authority. Instead, she offered him a chance to rise. Hale nodded slowly, tears threatening the corners of his eyes. "Commander, I'm sorry. Truly. Mira studied him, searching his expression for sincerity. She found it. Then start again, she said. Better this time. The captain stepped forward and addressed the corridor. Commander Brooks has saved more lives than most of you will ever meet, and she chooses humility over rank. Learn from that. A wave of awe washed over the recruits, a sudden applause breaking out. It's hesitant at first, then growing stronger, echoing between the walls. Mira didn't bask in it. She simply touched the mark on her cheek and exhaled softly, letting the moment settle, letting the lesson breathe. Justice wasn't about crushing someone. It was about guiding them back to who they should be, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. Later, as she walked away, the corridor behind her still buzzing, she realized something simple and poetic. Even in silence, some truths shout louder than any slap ever could. Thank you for listening to this story. If it moved you, inspired you, or made you think, feel free to share your thoughts below. And if you'd like more stories of courage, humanity, and hidden heroes, consider subscribing to Whispered Words, where every tale reveals a deeper truth.